When I pull up on the scene, dead fresh and casket clean, they gon' hate on me. Gon' hate on me. When I pull up on the scene, dead fresh and casket clean, they gon' hate on me. Gon' hate on me. Pull up on the scene, dead fresh and casket clean, they gon' hate on me. Gon' hate on me.
Yes. Glad to have you back around. Today we got Alex in the building. I'm Kay, and this is the Biscayne Breakdown. How you doing, Alex? What's up, man?
I'm good, man. It's been a busy summer. Your boy got married. Your boy got a new job. Your boy just moving right now.
Absolutely. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Like we have been discussing in the group chat. I mean, you know what it is. You're taking those steps to get where you got to go. And like I said, man, I like praise is numerous. I actually know where your new job at, as I mentioned. So, you're gonna love the sticks. But I mean, you're gonna be working, so it's cool. It's cool. We're a little later than we got. Time don't matter to y'all, but you know what I mean? It don't really matter because we're gonna get it done. But we was a little later than we had scheduled because I guess he said he was going to get some food in a town 15 minutes. I was gonna mention that. I was like, oh yeah, I know what time it is, because you gotta get on the highway just to get down to the nearest, which still ain't a big town. But then once you get in there, it's a stoplight every 15 seconds. So it's going to take, anyway, that's a different discussion. Yeah, man. It's almost like the Miami Heat's off season's been kind of complicated, but effective and easy. It's easy, but it seemed more complicated than it is. Nothing really still has happened. They haven't really been transactional from the perspective of bringing in an impact player and making a splash. I mean, I've kind of talked about it since, everything happened. Well, since the lack of happening, I guess, because me and Deem actually came with an episode. But just at this point, Alex, since we haven't spoken with you, how are you feeling right now about the Heat's lack of movement from a veteran or splash player perspective? How are you feeling about the roster from last season and how it looks as though it's going to turn over to be mostly the same, plus a few minor tweaks? Just give us your, your synopsis up until this point of the off season of where the Miami Heat are, minus draft and summer league stuff.
All right, so I mean, going into free agency and everything, I had high hopes for us to at least make some type of move, make some type of splash. You know how it go with the Heat Nation. We see that our names are attached to certain guys, and everybody get excited. And then you go on Twitter, and now they got them photoshopped in the jersey, and people putting together lineups with them. And we gonna figure it out. Just give them the Spoke. Spoke gonna figure it out. And I mean, once it came out, oh, okay, we got Kel'el back. I expected that. Honestly, I didn't expect it to be as much as it was, but we got him back. The one that surprised me the most was Thomas Bryant coming back, because I was just like, that don't make no sense to me for real after what he showed last year. Jay Rich obviously picked up his option with him being hurt. And then I like the Alec Burks signing. Like, I like that a lot. I've been a fan of Alec Burks. I know he done been through a bunch of different injuries in his career and done so. Is hopefully, well, he's been healthy, but he just didn't end up being who he could have been. So I always like that pickup. But I feel like I was hearing it from 5 Reasons Sports and I didn't want to believe it. But then they interviewed Andy and they asked Andy about it, and Andy was basically just like, yeah, Terry Rozier was our free agent signing. When we made that trade for Terry, that was us doing something for free agency too. So I just, at that point, once I really realized, all right, these jokers really are not like about to do anything drastic because of the second apron and all this other stuff, I was just like, you know what? Let's just have as much fun with it as we can.
I mean, you kind of echoed the thoughts that, like I said, in a previous episode of the Bis Break that were echoed by Deem and I. A lot of shots. I kind of tried to make sense of some of it. I know it's kind of hard to do so, especially looking at the Thomas Bryant move. But if you look at it, of course, them letting Orlando Robinson go, him as your third big on that deal isn't the worst you could go. But I guess I understand it if you're also looking at Kevin Love, like, well, now you got 4 centers. But it's there are more intricacies in it than I guess that are being played out for. But again, I'm not making no excuses because they haven't done anything electrifying. Go
But
ahead.
yeah, just to jump in though, like the one name, once I realized that all right, we got Thomas Bryant back, but then I looked to see that and I saw this one name, and I think I said it in the chat. But when I saw that we re-signed Thomas Bryant, but Paul Reed was still a free agent, I ain't gonna lie, I got pissed off. That one I was not happy about that. But I think, like Five Reasons Sports said, like they think it was a handshake, wink, wink that they told Thomas, hey, if you don't pick up your player option, we promise to bring you back. Like I think that's what happened, and I don't think they should have done that. But that's all I
Well,
got
you
for
know
you.
that I think I want to say that that report has since been refuted, and I want to say by Thomas Bryant himself. Now that could be a situation where what else is he gonna say? But at the same time, don't B-ball Paul make like $7-8 million a year?
I'm about to look right now.
Yeah, I
I don't
think
think
Paul Reed.
I don't,
I think Paul
he
Reed got a.
was.
No, I think they picked
Um,
a. I think so. He got waived by the 76, if I'm not mistaken. And if that's the case, somebody
mhm.
picked up his claim. Then he's still making a nice chunky piece of change compared to what Thomas Bryant is being paid.
I'm looking right now. Give me a
Oh,
second.
okay, for sure. I didn't know if you had pulled it up. Anyway, while you get that up, and of course, just come back to us whenever you get that information. Um, moving on to that part that I asked you not to mention because I knew we were going to get right there. The summer league, in the draft, of course, they were able to do some things there. And you mentioned the summer league because as we talked about the draft since it's happened, they've had some of their new additions. They only drafted one guy in the first round, of course, but then they were able to add a guy in Pelle Larsson in the second half. I mean, the second round, as well as bring in some undrafted free agents. And some of their other developmental guys actually had an opportunity to show up in a major way as well, along that process. So that's where we get to the summer league and start to speak about that, um, in totality. So the portion of the summer league that actually just finished is the Vegas summer league, the big portion. I mean, you can talk about the California Classic, but that just is where it is. That just is what it is. However, you can mention that the Miami Heat started off pretty good. You started to see some good things early on from the California Classic. It wasn't a situation where it was like they struggled mightily to begin. You could tell that it was a team just coming together. You could tell that they had never played together that much. And many of those guys were just still trying to figure out what it was they were going to excel at throughout the summer league process. So just talk about your thoughts early on before we move on to the conclusion. We'll focus on, once we get to the conclusion, we'll focus on the semifinal and the finals game. I mean, for as much as we want to say, because I think it'll be more about individual players. But early on in the summer league experience about these young Miami Heat, these summer league Miami Heat, Alex, as we are the champions. I see there. Um, tell us what were your thoughts early when you first saw this summer league, when you first saw a guy like Kel'el Ware, Pelle Larsson, and the rest of the guys that showcased in this summer edition.
Um, Shoot, man, that first. So I watched the first summer league game until it got ugly, and it got that one in the California Classic. I think we played the Warriors. That got ugly real fast. Like I think they lost by like 30 something. Like it was bad. But I know in that game, from obviously me being a basketball coach, I'm watching. I could see that the guys didn't have any really real connectivity. Um, Khalil, he was out there. He looked like every time he caught the ball, he was trying to be a mix of LaMarcus Aldridge with Michael Beasley. Like he catching the ball, doing crossovers in front of people off the block and getting layups blocked. Like I was not happy with what he was doing. But then after they got those had those growing pains, I think um well shoot California Classic that was like almost 2 weeks ago now. So that's kind of sort of in the past in my brain. But I just remember like guys who we thought we was gonna be able to just go to and rely on, none of them played well in that first game. But then as it gradually went on, they were able to find a rhythm with each other and and like you said, we about to get into what they was able to do once they was got to Vegas. I think they ended up 2-1 in the California Classic, and then we ended up going to Vegas and put on a little bit of a show. for Heat Nation and the world to see.
That's funny, man. I mean, a show was like it's quite a way to describe it because like they were mud stomping people along the way. I mean, in the regular portion of the summer league, and then of course once they got to the semifinals, they had a tougher matchup against the Warriors. In the Warriors, right? I think they beat the Warriors in the semifinals. Yeah, the Warriors in the semifinals. And of course, you know that was a tough matchup in itself. But I think that you really got a chance to see this team's grit in that finals as they went into overtime against the Grizzlies, coming down to the is that the Elam ending? That's the Elam ending, right?
Yep, they did an Elam ending, which was fire. That like honestly, even with me as a basketball coach, I think the Elam ending, like if a game goes to overtime, Elam ending it. Like I think that's because then OT ends on a game winner no matter what. Like that's tough to me. But yep, that was the Elam ending.
That makes sense. That make 100% good sense, and I think it adds a bit of excitement to the game because, like you said, at the end of the day, it's always going to end on some last shot type stuff. So you're going to find yourself on the edge of your seat organically. Don't forget to get B-ball Paul's deal because I want to know about that.
Oh yeah, so I got that. But I was waiting for you to segue into it. So he got waived, but the Pistons picked up his last 2 years, so he's still on that same deal, making around like 8 mil. So yeah, you was right.
Yeah, like nah, that's
Yeah,
I'm thinking what time is Brian making like 2.7 maybe? Is he making three?
he's around
Is he
4.
okay? All right, well it still ain't 8. And for a team
Yeah,
like the Miami Heat, you know what I mean? And plus, I don't know, man. Maybe there's some flexibility for a move to be made, which is sure something we'll touch on
oh,
slightly.
actually, shoot, yeah, he got a little cheaper deal. They re-signed him. So I think he made 4 last year. Didn't pick up the option. Now he getting 2 years basically. Yeah, he got 2 years around like almost 5.5. So he took a little cut, but I mean he got an extra year out of it.
Fair enough. Maybe longevity is more important.
Yes,
That's a mindset to have. Um, Now, when you look at individual guys along this Miami Heat journey to the Summer League title, the first guy that jumps off the tape, of course, you mentioned him early on and trying to do too much, is Kel'el Ware. And once he figured it out, so to speak, I mean, the boy was dominant. Talk to us about what you saw from Kel'el Ware and what stood out to you mostly about his performance during the Summer League.
shoot, man. Once he got to, I feel like they talked to him about, hey, yo, we don't want you, we don't want you really facing up off the block no more. We don't want you trying to back nobody down because he weighed less than me, and I'm only 6'3", and I know from looking at Buddy, he weighed less than I do. Once they were
He is
just
a
like,
little thinner than I thought he was. On
yeah,
court, he a little thinner than he looked in college, but that happens.
I said, yeah, but once they was probably just like, hey, we gonna have you set screens, short roll. We're gonna have you set screens and span the screen. So they gonna back screen your man, so you're gonna get lobs, and we're gonna have you pick and pop when that opportunity is there. We simplifying the game for you because we got all these guards and wings around you who can get after it and set you up. So we're gonna simplify the game for you. We're not gonna let you like I mean they did still throw the ball a few times every once in a while. And he was able to make some shots. It honestly, weirdly enough, to me, I don't know if to any other fans, some of the moves he was making off the block looked real Whiteside-ish to me. Like he got that Hassan Whiteside weird looking jump hook turnarounds that look awkward as I don't know what, but it go in because he got decent touch. Like yo, I was just like, yo, like he's shooting that mess like Hassan. But like I said, I mean, it went in, and like you said, ended up having a dominant stretch to end out summer league. Uh, obviously, like I said, with him being on the thinner side, sometimes he rebounded well, sometimes he didn't rebound well. But last night, I mean, he finished it off with a double double, so he did what he was supposed to do.
I think you mentioned something interesting about where it, he does have a bit of Whiteside in the way that I would say, the finishing of the gather as far as the shot is a little wanky, but the difference is Whiteside was clunky and lumbering as an athlete, and this dude is a fluid athlete, and he got better feet. Like he got much better feet. So it's like he's able to do stuff. Like I said, the end part where he actually the arm hands to letting the shot go part, that's the part we're talking about. But everything before then, he's just way more fluid and explosive and quick twitch. You know what I mean? To me in that area. But I do see what you're saying. But like said, like the little turnaround, two-hand shot right at the rim, that he's proven to be effective at actually. The ability to avoid and step through on the spins without tripping over his own feet or stepping on anybody's feet or traveling for that matter. Those things are impressive as well. And of course, the lob catches, the defense, the athleticism at his size is impressive as well. You saw him posterize several guys. Even for to be as frail as he is, he does have strength when he's finishing. So you're impressed by the fact that once he does start to actually add NBA strength, he's only going to be that much more lethal of a finisher at the rim, a lob threat, on top of whatever he can do on his own. Now, again, like say, he tried to get after it a little too much, too fast, as you mentioned, from several aspects. However, you do like the fact that some of that stuff is in his game. So after you harness it, get him more condition, get him in a better shape, and get him more used to the NBA game, I feel like, some of that stuff will be able to shine. Now, which takes me to this question about young Ware. How soon and in what role do you see him playing actual minutes for the Miami Heat?
This upcoming year, Kel'el Ware is gonna look like Bam did as a rookie. Hey, we're gonna put you in this game, play as hard as you can. We're gonna screen, you're gonna screen, you're gonna roll, you're gonna catch lobs and play defense. That is it. He might get to shoot probably 1-3, maybe, probably not. I think honestly, season averages, he gonna average probably just under 1-3 a game. But I honestly, unless they really, really lean into youth movement, then I see him probably getting like 10 minutes a game, and maybe three of those minutes are with Bam. But I think it's gonna be a nice little curve for him to be able to get on the court and maybe just let him rock out like how he was getting to it a little bit once he simplified his game. But yeah, I think it's gonna look exactly like Bam did. Come in here, screen for these guards, roll to the rim, be big.
Honestly, man, I gotta disagree with you a little bit. I think he's gonna be the second string big. I think game out. I'm gonna be fair. I say from game 3, and that's because you're giving him some conditioning and some bump. But I say from game 3, he probably be like an 18-minute a night guy. Like that distribution with Gafford and Lively. Like I'm not saying that'll be his distribution with Bam, but like how he could be either one of those guys in that shift. How both of those guys. Like I think towards the front end of the playoffs, as Lively was recovering from something, I think he was the 18-minute guy and Gafford was the 25-minute guy. They threw Kleber back in there once he came back. But then later, as Lively got more healthy, he became the 25-minute guy and Gafford became the 18 to 20-minute guy. I mean, I could see old boy being that 18-minute guy immediately. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. And I'm not going to step on our own toes because we're going to talk about this too. Not so much about Kel'el Ware, but just with also his ability to be a lob threat and defend right now. If he can show that he can protect the paint in the NBA, which ain't that hard. And I'm gonna mention that too. I mean, it's hard. I don't mean to minimize it and make it seem easy, but when you have a skill set, protecting the rim is like secondary defense. Like we talk about like Rudy Gobert and even Victor Wembanyama, who's a different animal, but still like because it's secondary weak side defense, somebody else is on ball, you time it up and go get it after that man take the shot. Now, Victor has shown to be able to do that while also playing on ball, which makes it a little different, but he does excel in that weak side situation too. I mean, if you could do that early on, you're definitely going to be the 18-minute guy. And dare I say, as I was getting to early, if Bam can continue to expand his offensive game, knock down that outside shot, and just continue to prove to be the elevated playmaker he is, man, look, if the boy can actually add to the team, it wouldn't shock me to see him get starters level minutes. I ain't saying he got to be the first with the first five on the floor, and that's a Spo thing because Spo, I don't know, Spo weird with young guys, but if he getting 25, 26, 27 minutes by the end of the season, it's not going to shock me. Because I feel like he's that good at what he does. That's all. I'm not saying he's final level, but in today's league, if you got somebody that can break down, and then you got a guy just can catch the lob and dunk with extreme athleticism, and then protect your cup, I mean, he gonna play. My bad. Go ahead, brother.
You good, you good. With that being said, I was going off of, like you said, me having basically for over 20 years, well, basically for 20 years, watched the Heat for shoot. Spo been at it since 08, 09. So however many years that is, do the math, everybody. For me watching Spo and knowing how he is with young dudes, that's why I said what I said. But if it was up to me, throw him into the fire. I'm with you. Give him 18 to 20 minutes a game out of 48. That's in the fire for you being a rookie. Let him figure it out. Let him play with Bam. Let him play with Jovic. Figure it out. Let him get used to it. Because in my opinion, well, in most Heat fans' opinions, we're not a championship team. So you might as well go ahead and let the young guy get some bump. Let him get some bump. Let like I said, combine that jump. Let him get bumped with Bam. Let him get bumped with Jovic. Let Bam and Jovic get some more bump together. Like just really figure out what pieces we have around Bam. Because Bam the top dog to me now. It's Bam team. We going around 13.
We ain't got enough time to get into that, but I'm sure we'll have those discussions as we get closer back to the real deal here. But it's funny you bring that up because I'm gonna use those two examples as like the polar opposites, but getting to the same place. Well, not those two, but you mentioned Nico, and then you mentioned Jaime. Like they threw Jaime into the fire immediately almost. But then you got Nico who needed some time to come along. But even once he came, like either approach works, and I think that Spo has just shown a little more malleability recently if the team needs it, if you're ready, and if what you can do actually adds something. So whereas the team needed it mainly because we were injured last year and Jaime came in ready to play, and ready to add something from the wings or as a guard, which is harder than a big because all you got to do is come and run, set screens, jump, dunk, and block shots. It sounds simple. It's hard, but it's simple. If you're that type of athlete and if you're 7 foot with a 35-inch vert, but what I'm saying is, like, I think Kel'el has the capabilities. The team needs size. We've been screaming for size for at least 2 years. He has real legit size. Like I said, he's not a lumbering big. He's an athlete. And I don't just mean that in the sense of like, the vertical jump, what we mentioned about the feet, the ability to move. The guy can get up and down the floor. Like I saw him running. And there were times I was like, who's the guard? Where's Kel'el? Oh, that's Kel'el. He's one of the first, second, third dudes up and down the floor. Like, when you could do that and you playing for the Miami Heat, and one of the announcers mentioned, I don't know exactly who it is, but the announcers were real good during Summer League as far as knowing how the Miami Heat operate, knowing the coaching staff, knowing the culture for lack of a better term. So, and I just say that not because they were, what I'm saying, what's the word I want to use to be PC? Not that they were, on it, or not that they were jocking or whatever. They won't, what I'm saying. But at the same time, they were able to speak to those notions. And he said something like, when you play for the Miami Heat, before you learn to become an NBA player, you got to learn to become a Miami Heat player. And I think that these things I'm talking about Kel'el just lean into him. What's the word? Integrating or being able to find himself making a meaningful contribution way more sooner than later. And like I said, I think that's honestly from game 3, 4, 5 at minimal, at absolute minimal. But like we said, we both know the history, man. I just think we need what he brings.
Yeah, we definitely need what he brings, and like going off of what you're saying is basically like him buying into the culture, buying into, like you said, what it takes to be a member of the Miami Heat. Because like everybody always says, we not for everybody. Everybody can't go down there and succeed. People go down there a whole bunch of times and fold. Like All the players got stories of seeing other people fold. So he, I think he has what it takes. Well, I hope he has what it takes.
Absolutely, man. And we don't have to talk about Heimbo. We know what Heimbo is. Well, I will say this. Speaking of his select performance, and let me give you a couple seconds here too. With his select performance in the limited summer league Heimbo that we saw, I like to um shout out all the people out there who've been trying to cap Jaime Jaquez's ceiling last year as just being that since he stepped on the court and proceeded to be one of the absolute best rookies in the NBA. The boy is showing you that he got a whole lot more game, as I tried to insinuate and say as much as I could. What he showed you was a refined game early on in his NBA career, and he only has the ability to get better because he's a worker, and that's apparent in his game. Like when you call him, I call him Heimbo because I call Jimmy Jimbo. Like when I say he remind me of Jimmy Butler, it's not only from the way he moved, from the way he execute right now, but just the mentality. Like he seems like a dude willing to do whatever he has to do to compete. But then when he gets the opportunity to contribute, he's capable of doing that in whatever manner you need him to do. And he's a sneaky athlete, which Jimmy is. But here's the kicker. Jaime's probably a little bit further ahead of Jimmy than Jimmy was in his. I mean, from a right from I'm being generous when I say a little from an offensive refinement perspective. He's further ahead, further along than Jimmy. So if you're saying that Jaime has a low ceiling, then you're probably one of the same people that said the dude that almost led us to a title before Josh Hart decided to go Kimbo Slice on his ankle with clutch bucket after clutch bucket after big performance after big performance. You probably one of the same people that said he had a limited ceiling. So I mean, just to give you a few seconds on that, man. What do you think? What do you think about all the people that limited Jaime when he just continues to, show that he has the capability to prove them wrong in a big way, even though he's already beginning to do so?
Man, I'm just looking at it like no, like going off of what you're saying. Like I remember seeing the tweet that they
Sorry to
asked.
cut you off, Alex, but notice Joel's banner. Like this video, if the Heat Summer League title championship is worth more than the Boston Celtics NBA title ring. I mean,
That's great
Joel
right
in
there. That's
red
great.
phone.
That's great stuff
I'm
right there.
glad to
That's
see
great
you.
stuff.
I'm glad to see you able to smile. Joel behind the boards on the ones and twos. Everybody, shout him out. But Joel been dealing with some stuff. We ain't gonna get too much into it, but I'm glad to have him working with us and glad to see that he's back on his BS. He's in high spirits, ready to troll. We're gonna be back to it with the main pod any day now as well. We just want to give you some content, like I said. But go ahead, Alex. I just wanted to highlight that jovial announcement with that wonderful opinion piece of Joel's there.
I mean, everybody who see this video should like this, John. That's all I'm saying. But um, yeah, man, with Jaime, with seeing that tweet come out where they asked basically who is the best players on the select team, they said Cooper Flag, who I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like I'm basically since Cal left UK, I'm a just I feel like I'm just a Duke fan now. I used to be
Are you
Kentucky.
you've jumped allegiances?
Well, I was Kentucky and Duke.
Oh, so you split your time anyway. Okay, all right. You
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. I
No,
was
I'm just
Kentucky.
messing with you, bro. I got
Yeah.
you. I got you.
But
I'll
yeah,
say
yeah.
this.
So
It's funny you say that, and not to jump too much into college, but you mentioned a good point. I've been a Duke fan forever, bro. And since K left, I found myself detached. But I will say this, and of course, I like hoops, so I'm gonna check in. And
mhm,
if I'm gonna check in with anybody, of course, I'm gonna follow them. The UNC Duke rivalry,
mhm,
that's always interesting. But I
yeah,
tell you, and you mentioning it, Flag got me excited about Duke hoops again. But go ahead.
that boy. I don't even call him Cooper Flag. I said that flag man. That flag man. You out there with NBA players. The highlights came out. He all right. AD blocked my shot. I don't care. I'm gonna keep playing. I'm dunking. All right,
Hey,
let me not get it.
Mike said, hey, you gonna get them blocked if you shoot as much as I do, baby.
Hmm. I said, yeah, but I ain't gonna. I was about to go off on the Cooper Flag highlights, but I'm gonna just get off of it and I'm gonna go to Jaime, which is what we was talking about. So Jaime and Cooper being the best two players on the select team. That like seeing that made me really feel like, all right, like we really got something here because of the fact that once he started playing well, it was one of them situations where just like I did with Tyler during his rookie year where he started snapping, I was just like, all right, this is great. Great trade piece. But now I'm like, we might have to hold on to, like you say, Heimbo, because Heimbo, he get to it. He get to it. And then he stepped out there for those first two Vegas Summer League games and literally like he did exactly what people be saying that all right, if you a young guy after your rookie year, you come back, yeah, you come back to play Summer League. They're not gonna have you play the whole time. But in the games that you play, you need to show that, hey yo, y'all out here, but there's levels to this. Like, and Jaime definitely did that. He definitely did that.
He looked different. He definitely stood out. And to that point, him and Cooper Flag, that flag man, as you called him, were the best two players on the roster that featured Jalen Duran of the Detroit Pistons, the big man that's electric, a rebounding machine. Langston Galloway, the veteran that always finds a way to contribute for the Olympic situation. Nigel Hayes Davis killing it over in the EuroLeague, was a big Wisconsin Badger guy. I wonder why he ain't making the league. I always like this game. Trace Jackson Davis, the rookie that I like from Golden State. I think he was underdrafted. Glad he's thriving. Jaime Hawkins Jr. was, of course, on the roster. Him and Cooper Flag were on their roster. But Brandon Miller, a top pick. Trey Murphy, one of the dual wings out of New Orleans. Keegan Murray, the top pick of the Twins that from Iowa that went to Sacramento. Pods from Golden State, the guard that's doing this thing right now that want to pick behind Jaime in the draft, who the Miami Heat said they liked a lot. So, and Golden State said they liked Jaime. So it probably would have flip-flopped, which wouldn't have been bad, but it probably would have flip-flopped if we would have took Jaime. We might have took Pods and they would have took Jaime. But either way, Michael Potter, former Miami Heat, Peyton Pritchard, Jabari Smith Jr., Jalen Suggs, and Amin Thompson. As mentioned, Cooper Flag and Jaime Jaquez Jr. were the guys that stood out as being the best two players on that roster, man. So definitely shout out to Heimbo, who, like we said, is proving people wrong every day. But let's get to the other draft pick, second round pick, Pelle Larsson. I mean, I got nothing but good things to say about the guy. Mine's is short and sweet, man. From the beginning, I've liked the fact that he's aggressive and he's physical. He isn't afraid to make it happen. He isn't afraid to stand in on defense. He wants to rock, and he's athletic. Like I said, he's physical. He plays defense. And he's shown you the ability to improve already. Now, this is the thing that I've said about him that really sticks out to me. He moves like a bigger Goran Dragic. And I don't know if I'm not even going to ask. I ain't tripping. I like, he moved like a bigger Goran Dragic. The game might not be exactly the same, but just the way he moved and like almost like, I don't know, it ain't a gallop. It's a trot. The way he trot, man, it's interesting to watch. But I like him too. And of course, that was proven in the Summer League Championship as he made the final bucket to beat the Grizzlies. But what do you think about Pelle Larsson, the Miami Heat second round draft pick?
I like him, man. I like Pele. I mean, I just pulled it up. He averaged just under 13, 4, and 4 in summer league, which I mean, those not numbers to scoff at as a rookie, especially as a second round pick, because there are other second round picks that we won't name that was struggling out there. But yeah, man, yeah, that man was Pele. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. But Pele, like,
No, who you talking about, Alex? Who you talking about?
hey man. I mean, hey, but now we're not gonna get into that because that's a whole other conversation, dog. That's a whole other conversation. We're not gonna talk about that. But yeah, man, I like his game. He likes the guard. You can tell he liked the guard yesterday in the championship game. I think he had like our first seven or seven of the first nine or something like that. But he was a little antsy. He got three quick fouls. But the fact that he likes the guard, he likes to get after it. Um, didn't start off summer league shooting the ball very well, but it ended up being he ended up making more shots as time went on. And like you said, like he got some a little wiggle to him with the ball. He's tough as nails and he got that craftiness, like you said, that Goran displayed. He got that early with the fact that he's already around like 6'6". That's a different animal to
I was
deal
about to
with
say
right
he's
there.
bigger. I meant to mention that too. He's
Hmm.
bigger and a better athlete, as I mentioned. So he got, like you said, that wiggle and that craftiness but he's bigger and he's a better athlete. Not to cut you off. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
You good? You good? I said that was all I had on him. I just pulled up his NBA card. Yep, 6'5", 215. That's a big boy right there.
Sound about right, and especially with his physicality, that's going to be great for attacking. And the rest of the guys, not to minimize them, but as we're getting on up in the minutes here, and we got a couple more things we want to get to. We're just gonna kind of hit them all together. But speaking of attacks, Alondes Williams, I mean, and I know a lot of people were, mixed on him, and I see you shaking your head. I know a lot of people were mixed on him early on, but I think he won a lot of people over as Summer League progressed. And for me early on, I think it was trying to force him to do a lot on ball. And I think he became more comfortable with that and his on ball persona as Summer League progressed. He actually became more more comfortable with the jump shot as well. But I think the boy's superpower is his just relentless ability to attack. And I think when you have the mentality and the ability to attack the way he does, not only from a ability to start the attack, like, the burst or the leaping ability, but he has a special ability to finish too, whether that's with the hanging layups to touch, or whether that's cocking that thing back to his hip and then throwing it down. Like, I mean, he has a special ability to attack and finish. And I think it's interesting because with all of that, it's worth seeing if it can translate to the big league. I think in my mind, he isn't a starting, 2 guard or 1 guard because he's a scorer, a combo wing, if anything. But I think he would make like the perfect 6th man or 7th man if you can harness that. Quick thoughts on Alondes. What do you think about him?
Man, that boy, man, he got some wiggle to him as well. While you was talking, I just went and pulled up the what is this junk called? The box score from the game yesterday, or whatever. 21, 6 and 5, 4 for 9 from 3, 8 for 16 from the field in 37 minutes. Like, honestly, man saved us yesterday because Pelle got in foul trouble, Isaiah Stevens got in foul trouble, JC Josh Christopher got in foul trouble. Like, man held it down while them jokers was sitting on the pond. So I like what he brings to the game. Like, obviously, we know how the league is. Like, every team already got guys who are stars that they get the most shots and score and get to play with the basketball. And it's like, if you one of those younger guys trying to make it, before you can get that opportunity, it's like, what role can you just come in here and fit? Which is one of the things that I feel like he might struggle with because of the fact that leading into the game, going into OT yesterday, I remember I was sitting watching, and it's on my Instagram story. I was recording, watching the game, and it was the last possession, and he ended up getting a charge because he went down the lane. One, he went too early, but 2, instead of like just jumping up and trying to make the right play pass, which would have been to Pele in the corner for a wide open 3, that joker tried to be the superhero and tried to jump up and jelly a layup around dude who came to take the charge. So obviously he got that charge call. But like, I like what he has, but I just know how the league is. Like, I don't know who would give him that opportunity to spread his wings, because he's one of those guys who right now, for him to really be effective, he need the ball and he need to be able to get up shots and get into a rhythm and feel the basketball and make plays. Like, he not an Isaiah Stevens, where Isaiah Stevens can get out there, I'm just literally out here to pass, and if I'm wide open, I'll shoot it. But if not, I don't care. I'm just trying to play defense and pass. But I ain't gonna lie, like I said, man, I like man. I like what he has, but I just know how the league is.
I mean, I agree with you, and that's why I think he'd be like a perfect 6th, 7th man. And for a Miami Heat team that like struggles to score sometime, lost an explosive guy like Caleb, I think that there's a role for him. And we're gonna get to the ultimate question here. We're not gonna spend, like I said, too much time on individuals. You brought the guy up, and it was a topic that you broached on people watching people in Miami, seeing how they do, how Miami does for players and what Miami does for players. Look, this guy, man, I think when you talk about Josh Christopher, JC, Shock G, as I call him affectionately, I mean, listen, I mean, The boy could always score. The boy could always score. He just ain't have his head on right.
He one of them ones, bro. Like,
I mean, and he's still young.
I'm about to, how old is Buddy right now?
Maybe like 23, maybe.
Yeah,
But
I think that.
I mean, just what you saw in the summer league from his shot making.
Buddy, 22 years old, bro.
22, right? Shot making, clutch shot making,
First round,
shot creation.
First round pick, bro. Like what, bro?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, I know you good, bro. I'm excited as you. I don't have anything to say about it because what needs to be said? You saw it, MVP of the summer league. I mean, the MVP. I'm sorry, MVP of the championship game. My bad, not of the summer league, but good enough. I mean, I just think that when you talk about the Miami Heat, I said it before the summer league. Villains, vagabonds, and nomads. This guy qualifies. Like after the humping incident, his reputation never quite got back the same as it was in that Houston system, and then he found himself bouncing all around. And that wasn't about them deeming that to be that bad. They just wanted to separate him and Green because they probably thought they was like, all right, we need to accelerate Green's development, and we clearly got to separate this. But you know, that is what it is. I think he's bounced around and he's landing in a spot that's built for him to succeed. And it goes back to what we were talking about young Kel'el. We need what this boy can bring. And that's the thing I like about him and Alondas. They're both explosive, but in different ways, man. And look, Keshad was hurt, but Keshad a dog. He gonna contribute in a major way. I see him being in that early Caleb where he's more of a 4 than anything, just running around causing havoc, defending at a high level, clean up stuff, knock down 1-3 every game, every other game. Other than that, just like said, make the game hell for everybody else on the court that ain't on your team. I mean, it's a bunch of guys, man. And we're going to eventually talk about this as it pan out because we don't want to, like I said, go too much longer. We got another couple things to get into. We'll eventually talk about who ends up in Sioux Falls, yada, 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 because they're a bunch of young guys we like from, like you said, Isaiah Stevens. I really like Zay Pullen. I hope we can find a way to keep him in the developmental system. And you know, even I don't know, honestly, Swider's not going to get a deal. And it's unfortunate because Swider really can't shoot the rock when he gets going. But I don't think he's going to get a regular deal or a two-way deal, and he won't sit down in Sioux Falls, and that's fine with me. If he did, I'd be fine with that too. But he probably won't because somebody's going to violate his shooting, especially based off the deal that Sam Hauser just got. Sidebar, don't be out here comparing Sam Hauser to Duncan Robinson because they ain't the same. Hey, Sam Hauser made some beautiful, highly contested jumpers in that playoff run. And that's how he got the money. Respect, earned it that way. But his game ain't Duncan Robinson game. Let's not do that. Anyway, so I mean, you know, there's gonna be some opportunities for Swider to probably go somewhere and get that Sam Hauser opportunity, for lack of better terms. But when it comes to those two-way slots, those coveted 3 two-way slots, in my mind, Drew Smith has lost his two-way slot. In my mind, are we on the same page there? Shout out to Drew Smith. I like Drew Smith because Spolen Rouse, I just like Drew Smith. He's a tryhard, ultimate Scotty, all Scottie Pippen Jr. first teamer. I agree. But when it comes to those 3 two-way slots, right now, in your mind, Alex, who are the 3 two-way guys?
Keshad, Josh Christopher, Isaiah Stevens. That's what I got. Honestly, it took me a second on the Stevens one, but like, I mean, yeah, he's small, but he literally just like he does exactly what he's supposed to do 9 times out of 10 at that point guard spot. I know Spo is gonna love that because of the fact that I feel like Spo looked at Drew Smith in that same way, where all right, I know he's gonna do exactly what he's supposed to do. And I mean, Drew Smith, I think he was like 6'4", 6'5", so he could guard a little bit. But I honestly, just because he's small,
Drew Smith that big?
I might have gave him.
I mean, I'm not questioning you. You just piqued my interest. Let me see.
Maybe it was the man bun. I don't know. he had his hair up all the time. While but I think we gotta give.
And he only lifted at 6'2".
He listed at 6'2".
Mm-hmm.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, hey, Buddy gone. I thought Buddy was 6'4". Buddy gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro. Bro, come on, Spo. Come on, Spo. I got to call Spo on that one.
He'll try
I gotta
hard,
call
man. The
Spo.
Heat love try hards, dog. For me, like I said, I get it. And hear me out. For
But
me,
if you try hard and you ain't doing that, like what? Okay, I'm sorry.
you hell, dog. Go ahead, dog.
I shouldn't have
He
said that.
trying
I
hard
shouldn't
to
have said
do
that.
something, Alex. That's why. That's why he ain't doing nothing, because he trying hard to do something. Nah, man. So for me, I got Alondas. I got JC. Who was my third two-way? Hold on. Alondas,
Johnson.
JC. Hold on. No, I'm gonna tell you. Hold on. Hold tight. I'm gonna tell you why not. Not that he ain't on the team, but I'm gonna tell you.
I was about to say I know exactly where you was going with it there. If you was going to
Right.
say that, I knew where you was going.
It's so you can keep more of them. Hold on. It's Alondas, JC. Who was the third guy that I'm thinking about?
They got Zion pulling. They had the Caleb Daniels. I ain't gonna lie, that's the only ones who deserve it.
Well, it's probably actually, I don't know why I'm tripping in. It's probably Keyshawn then. But I was saying if there's a third guy you want to keep, like, because you got a lot of guys that you might want to keep, right? Okay, let's say if they want to keep Cole Swider and just hang on to him, right? So he don't go nowhere else. I think I wouldn't be mad if you keep Isaiah Stevens. I want them to keep pulling because I like him as a big guard. But he can survive in Sioux Falls. I think Isaiah Stevens will survive in Sioux Falls. Keyshawn got an ankle injury right now. So you could do some kind of injury thing, rehab, stash him in Sioux Falls for a couple weeks and just call it rehab while you work to clear out space, perhaps, just for semantics. But yeah, it is 3 two-ways, and I'm blinking, and there's a guy I'm not thinking about. But yeah, unless I'm tripping.
Not on the Heat team?
Yeah, unless I'm tripping. It's Alondas, it's Josh Christopher, and it's Keyshawn. Yeah.
And I think like the reason that I didn't pick Man it was because of the fact that like I feel like in certain aspects him and JC are somewhat redundant. And I think because of the fact that JC was a first round pick a few years back, that he comes with a little bit but
a little more cachet is what you're saying?
Yeah, like Alondas, he did what he was supposed to last year with Sioux Falls, and he done been in the Heat system. He played 8 NBA games, but JC
putting in the work
was
though,
the
man.
first. Yeah, I know, but like I said, I feel like both of those guys are redundant. And I think Alondas is listed at like 6'3", and I think Josh Christopher like 6'5". So I
a little
guess
bit bigger.
When it comes down to it, take the guy who's a little bit bigger, who on top of that was the first round pick.
I feel you, but my thing is this: where you could look at it as being an overall redundancy in the fact that both of them are scoring guards. They're both scorers naturally. At heart, they're both scorers. I look at it as being very complementary because they both have shown you the ability to be on ball a little bit, create a little bit of plays, and one of them really prefers to shoot jumpers, and one of them really prefers to attack. And that's why I think they complement. You don't have two guys who are going to sit on the edge and both shoot jumpers. I think you got two guys who really both love to attack. So yeah, as we transition away from the summer league, me and Alex pretty much are in agreement. Because they're really honestly, man. And we talk about this every season all the time. And I guess that's what pissed you off so much about the Miami Heat when it comes to them making splash moves, because they're so good when it comes to acquiring and developing young talent or unheralded talent. It's like, well, why aren't you, equal on the other side of acquisition? But it's so much good young talent. Especially drafted and brought in this year, bro, that as long as you keep, 2 or 3 guys and find a way to keep 1 or 2 more guys in the program, there's really no wrong way to. We know Keyshawn and Pelle and Alondas and JC, if you got any sense, gonna have something to do inside the Heat program, how that's distributed. And of course, Pelle got a main deal, so that's already taken care of. But you just brought it to my attention. I don't know why I was thinking you got a stash key shot. We'll reevaluate and get back, but we pretty much in alignment there as far as the guys. We were talking about Kel'el though, and something specific was him playing with Bam. And I mentioned then, if Bam continues to show the progression from the outside, especially in hitting the 3-ball like he is, him and Kel'el are gonna have no problem playing together. So speak to that and what you're seeing from Bam as Team USA ramps up in their preparation for the Paris Olympics. Speak to what you've seen from Bam so far, as far as his outside game goes, Alex, and how much that excites you or not about next season.
Bam Adebayo, man, that joker, him out there, like just being able to see him play.
Bamonte.
Hey, ever since JaVale McGee did that video, that's what I call that boy. Bamonte. But yo, ever since like with this year's Team USA, he's playing with the most talent that he's ever played with in a serious situation. Like, okay, he was with Team USA the last time. He played literally just center, did a few things, led the team in rebounding and stuff. This time, he out there on the court with the second unit, playing the 4 with AD at the 5 and Anthony Edwards at the 2 with Jason Tatum at the 3. Like, just seeing Bam out there with that level of talented guys and just seeing how well he plays with them. Like you said, how he's able to, when he gets the ball and it's late and he not trying to make a play for nobody else, and he like, you know what, I can get in my bag right here. He's able to finish plays at a high level. Like, yo, like oh my goodness, man. Like if we really, I feel like if we really want to take the next steps, Bam, like my boy Mike Beasley said, they're gonna have to let Bam get the shooting the ball 18 to 20 times a game, because he could give us some stuff. Like if we just let him go ahead and, hey yo, go ahead, get in the bag that you got. I'm excited to see what he can do. Obviously last year, around like halfway through the year, he started to take a little bit more threes, and it don't look bad. Like he's shooting the 3 from above the break. He hit that game-winning 3 in Detroit. There's a few games, I think, in the playoffs where he hit multiple threes in a game. Here with Team USA, he didn't hit corner threes. Like it's like Bam, he got a chance to really be one of them ones in the league if we put the right guys around him to let him just expand what he does. But I mean, we'll see what happens going into this upcoming year. Like yeah, man, I'm very, very excited for Monte Adebayo, hoping that he could also get that Defensive Player of the Year award that they done snubbed for him 2 times, because he should have at least 2 of them. I don't know how. I ain't gonna do that.
You good, bro? Talk to it, bro. It's okay. This is a safe space. This is a safe space, dog. So it's funny you say what you say. I agree. I don't have nothing to add. You said it all, bro. He had Bron calling him a splash brother, for crying out loud.
Bam Splash.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Bron's a fan. He a fan. But I would argue that when you talk about a guy like Kel'el Ware, they're beginning to put those pieces around him, so he don't have to be that guy in the middle. But even to that point, that's offensively, as you brought. But then you wrapped it up by Bam. So the thing about the Miami Heat, people have noticed, and people have criticized Bam for this, they don't have no shot blocking. Bam isn't a shot blocker. With Kel'el Ware there, not only will he be allowed to highlight his on-ball defense, which he excels at because he guards everybody, but it's going to allow him an opportunity to get some more of those sexy plays too, those off-ball blocks, because he's going to be weak side, Amare Stoudemire type, you know what I'm saying, weak side action, monster that joint. So it's going to solve a lot of those issues because like it's undeniable now. But I think when you look at some of those other guys, and don't get me wrong, Wemby's a freak, so he's going to be competing with that dude. But it's going to give him an opportunity, like I said, on both sides of the ball, because I think they're beginning to put those pieces around him to highlight what it is he does at a high level and what it is he has been doing at a high level individually for at least 2 or 3 years now, even though he's had to sacrifice some of that to give the team what it is they needed from him. So I 100% agree. I just wanted to elaborate as I do because, you know, I love to talk too. Quickly, man, Bron been killing it for the U.S. I don't really see nobody beating him in Paris. I mean, I think it'll be tougher as it has been with South Sudan and Germany because the NBA is more global. They're more, you know, I think I seen a stat where it's like there were 8 NBA players in the Olympics against the Dream Team, whereas now there'll be 65 NBA players that aren't playing for the USA team. Like, I mean, the league is global. Basketball is a massive sport worldwide. The talent is just better. Everybody's catching up, but nobody's going to completely catch up and take over. The best is still here. I mean, you're looking at an example. It's multiple ways to win in the Olympics. The game don't automatically favor the NBA players, so there's going to be competition. But I still think the NBA players have the best combination of athleticism, skill, nuance, and all of that. And to an example, South Sudan was able to get it done with size, endurance, and shooting. They never stopped running. They had pace. They had size. They had positional size, and they were knocking down threes. And you look at Germany, they really, you know, didn't have abnormal size. They really didn't have abnormal athleticism, but they had nuance and they had detail and they were tacticians and they ran the heck out of them sets. So the games are just different. They're gonna vary, and it just favors you being locked into the style of ball you want to play. And I still think the Miami Heat is. I mean, I'm sorry, I think they're superior too, but I still think the Team USA is superior to the rest of the world. And speaking of the Miami Heat, 6 for the USA as he was for the Miami Heat during his tenure. LeBron James is just continuing to show why you can't not include him in the best player in the world conversation as he's put them on his back in these last 2 exhibition games against South Sudan and Germany to come out and pull out the win. Give us a couple thoughts on Team USA from what you've seen before we get ready to close out here, Alex.
Like you said, the last 2 games, honestly, it's been LeBron save us, which I mean, it is what it is because
I mean, that's Brian. He might be the GOAT, so that works. I get what you're saying too, but we got to say that works. But at the same time, you know, he's 40. He's 40.
Yeah, he's 40 years old, and what he's doing is absolutely amazing. I will give him that. But yeah, I'm a Jordan stan over here. Jordan and
Bro. So here's my thing on that. And me and you may have never had this conversation. This is a wonderful platform to have this little chat real quick. And we can go deep into this as we, you know, as we always say, we're gonna try to give you more content and we're gonna try to hold ourselves to that. So maybe we'll get a chance to have this conversation. As a hoop head, as just a knower of ball, I can't bring myself theoretically, conceptually, nor physically to say that there's a greater person to ever touch a Spalding than his Ernest Michael Jordan. I just know ball. I can't do that. Now, if I were a GM or if I were picking a team on the playground and I have both of them in their primes, I'm taking the 6'8" dude who's a better athlete at 250 pounds. Now, there's no wrong answer. And for that reason, I will never clarify it or classify it or dignify it or detail or have any conversation with anybody without prefacing it by saying there is no 1 and 2 with those dudes. There's a 1A and a 1B. And your preference is your preference. You ain't wrong. But there's a 1A and there's a 1B. Because I know that you can't teach 6'8", 250 as skilled, as smart as anybody that ever touched the game. And there's one on a high level. That's Bron. But you also can't teach the phenomenon, the precedent setter, the man that made us all fall in love with the game, the culture, the sneakers, like the dude that you think about when you think about the slam dunk. Like, I know that there's not another guy that I can righteously say as a knower of ball is better than Michael Jordan. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Respect. But getting back to Team USA talk, getting back to that. Like I said, the last 2 games has been Bron save us, which he has done, which I'm grateful for. I think Joel Embiid, he's looked really rough. He's out of shape. He's trying to catch the ball and wait 5 seconds to make a jet to just literally do one jab step and then shoot a mid-range pull-up like he does with the Philadelphia 76ers. But in the Olympics, there's no defensive 3 seconds. So when you catch the ball and you turn, literally somebody else can go stand in the lane and look at you like, yo, you're not coming in here. And then with that being
I'm
said,
not leaving. I'm gonna be here all
yeah,
day.
yeah. With that being said, like we haven't been hitting threes for real. Like against South Sudan, I think at halftime they were 7 for 14 from three. We were 1 for like 13. So I mean, Steph out there, he's shooting. He had one good game where he was hot, but like I mean, he ain't been hitting. Um, Jason Tatum offensively, I don't know what I said to somebody. I don't remember who it was, but I said to somebody that Jason Tatum right now he's still sweating out champagne. That's what he looked like because he playing good defense, but on offense he looked like he getting champagne on the ball when he's trying to do stuff because he not in no type of rhythm. Um, AD and Bam handling
That
business.
boy got a baby on the way. You know what time it is.
Oh, yeah, you're right about that. He do have a baby on the way, but Anthony Edwards, every time Ant-Man catch the ball, it look like he's trying to make a highlight tape
I
every
was about
single
to say,
time.
Ant said early on that I'm gonna be me. They gotta figure and I hate to say this because I love me some Ant. And I'm gonna stir the pot before we go, and you're gonna see what it's about. It's nothing to your thing. I'm just gonna stir the pot a little bit. But it
Hmm.
seems like at times Ant is trying too hard to make that narrative fit. Like I'll give you an example, as we both insinuated, Braun being Braun, and like Braun coming down the stretch, like Braun been cooking. Braun the reason y'all like have taking control back of the game, and then Ant or like try to penetrate three people and finish and lose the rock. It's like, boy, why you just kick the rock to Braun? Braun is cooking right now.
So yeah, man. Like I like the fact that Ant is with that second unit because of the fact that he's such an alpha that Tatum is gonna defer to him, even though to be totally honest, Tatum is more skilled, but Ant is I'm the dog. Tatum,
Hold
Tatum
on,
sticks,
hold on,
Tatum
hold
sticks
on,
Kent
hold
with
on, hold
he
on,
got
hold on, hold
everything,
on, hold
dog.
on, hold on, hold on.
Oh Lord,
See, we got more
uh,
topics. We
yo,
that
it's a
ain't heat
bunch of
related, but we could
it's
do
a
that
bunch of
again.
content we can get
Like, what
into.
you talking about, dog? I actually agree with you, but I'll be honest, Ant the better player. Tatum is more
Yeah,
skilled.
yeah,
He can do more stuff. But what
yeah,
Ant does, he can do it way better. So we agree.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. That well, yeah, I ain't even gonna get into that point either because that's talking about the Celtics and everything. We don't care about the green people. But yeah, man. So Ant been trying to do a little bit too much, and I literally said to the group that I was talking to about it that I think Spo need to sit down with Ant and literally show him 2008 Dwayne Wade in the Olympics.
That's exactly what Spo need to do.
That's all he
Please,
need to do.
are are
Just
you
look
are
at
you
this.
are you you good with your Olympic take?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Oh, perfect. I'm glad you said that because this is how I'm gonna stir the pot. Look, so I got Spo down there working the Ant Edwards angle, right? And then you got AD and Ant Edwards loving playing with Bam Adebayo. So that's already the Lakers and the Minnesota Timberwolves that I done ruined. Mind you, like you said, Bam Bam Splash. I done ruined the Lakers. I done ruined the Timberwolves. That's two down. I got two rivals down. I don't really like the Lakers because they the Lakers and they beat us in the bubble. I ain't forgot about that. Timberwolves try to do on us every season, and they got a little something for my superstar. And I don't like the way they talk about Jimbo. So that's two teams I done ruined. Look, we got the Boston Celtics drama, Jaylen Brown. I mean, that's all I gotta say. He got a new story coming out every 3 days. Like that boy is always into something. So I done ruined the Celtics. Now hear me out.
His
Here's the
girl look
kicker.
like she want to be in Miami too. I ain't.
Huh? Go ahead, boy. So listen, Joel Embiid down there playing like garbage, as you mentioned. So I didn't ruin 4 teams. I just need something to happen to the Serbian team in Greece. I need to ruin the Nuggets, and I have to ruin the Bucks. And I've walked away totally victorious. Because right now, I got, like I said, I'm throwing some salt in there with the Timberwolves. I'm breaking the Lakers up, baby. I'm breaking the Lakers fans mad right now. They see this and they like, you are criminals, Jenny Bus. Look at LeBron right now. Look at AD. And y'all like, I'm breaking them up. We got the Boston drama and we got the Philly drama. I mean, we are cooking. And then, like I said, Spo down there just sowing seeds. We got the relationships being developed. All these guys seeing what they could be playing with, and bam. I mean, it's all positive vibes right now, man. All positive vibes. Man, what you got before we wrap it up? This has been lovely.
So all that I got is, like you can see, Miami Heat, Summer League champs. I think that's helping us get on the right track. We have replenished our youth. We got some decisions to make with the youth, youth and the guys who are gonna end up in Sioux Falls, and guys who are gonna end up with two ways. It is what it is in regards to everybody who's locked in to the roster, like number 14. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about number 14. But I'm sorry. I gotta add this though. Because you see the video of him where it was like, oh, he ain't missing 3 for 2 minutes, right?
In the gym. Yeah.
Buddy made the buddy.
Yeah.
Somebody commented on that just talking about, so now make them with somebody guarding you. And Tyler responded talking about, so you come guard me. Yo.
Oh wow.
You ain't know that?
I didn't see that, dog. Bro, send it to the group chat. Please send it to the group chat.
Tyler really responded to Buddy talking about, so you come guard me. Yo, I ain't gonna lie. That was petty, but I liked it. So maybe Petty Tyler is the move. No.
Look, man. Before we get on up out of here, look, man. As he mentioned at the top of the show, congratulations and shout out to my co-host for the day, Coach Alex Lewis. Your last name's still Lewis, right? Did you take her last name? I'm just messing with you, bro. Coach Alex Lewis, on his recent nuptials, man. Happy man, married man now. Fresh off a honeymoon. You see, you know what I'm saying? He done put on a couple pounds, told us to go get in that gym though and get back down to the pre-pod weight. But also, man, big shout out to your new assistant coach at Shawan University in the 252. You already know this is just the next step along a journey that's going to eventually take him to the point where we talking about Alex and what he going to do with his starting two guard and how he going to play his center. And can I get some locker room passes? Because I knew you when you was like an NAIA assistant. Anyway, man, you already know, bro. I appreciate you for coming on. Shout out to Joel on the boards on the ones and twos. We missed you, Dean. We missed you, Kev. We're going to try to get y'all back on. We're going to try to get back, as we always promise. We're going to try to do better, y'all. Next on the next show. Yeah, man. As always, we'd like to thank you for lending your ear to this sound. That's my man, Coach Alex, the recently married Coach Alex. And I'm Kay, and this has been the Biscayne Breakdown. We out. Holla.
Yeah. When I pull up on the scene, dead fresh and casket clean, nigga on.